the White House was blown up again. Aliens had arrived on Earth. Women were hoping for an alien adventure. However, in the next moment, a few days earlier, Dr. Vincent was playing chess with his father at the village entrance, but he was too talkative. Vincent ended the game abruptly. He excused himself and went to his studio. His assistant reported that signals around the world were showing anomalies. Upon hearing this, Vincent began his research. At this moment, an officer approached the president, saying that an unidentified object was approaching Earth. Some places were already in a state of panic. An old man was spreading rumors that aliens were attacking Earth. He had since been arrested.
Kinds of experiments on me! They've been studying us for years, finding out our weaknesses!
The president immediately sought a solution. Suddenly, his daughter ran in looking for comfort. The sky outside darkened instantly. Fiery clouds filled the sky. A massive spaceship appeared above the city. Meanwhile, Vincent also noticed the spaceship approaching. He ran back to the studio to share his suspicions with everyone, but Vincent found that only one person remained in the studio. He informed his colleague that the aliens were about to launch an attack. They needed to inform the president about this. Everyone must evacuate quickly. Then, he called his wife, who was the president's secretary. Upon hearing this, his wife seemed completely unconcerned. Vincent had no choice but to explain the situation to the president in person. However, he didn't have a driver's license. He could only ask his father for help. Soon, his dad drove him to the White House. Vincent called his wife again, telling her he was at the White House entrance. With his wife's assistance, he successfully met with the president. Vincent stated that they needed to arrange an evacuation for everyone, but the president told him not to panic. The aliens might just be here for tourism. Meanwhile, the public paused their work to look at the spaceship. After all, such a spectacle was rarely seen in a century. But soon, the spaceship revealed its full form. They clearly came with malicious intent. People feared being captured by the aliens and began to flee in all directions. The streets were in chaos. Meanwhile, UFOs appeared in various parts of the world. One even hovered above the White House. They seemed to disregard the president entirely. The president urgently called a press briefing. He reassured the public not to panic. Then, he dispatched helicopters to investigate the situation. The helicopters arrived in front of the spaceship. They extended an invitation to the aliens for diplomatic relations. All the officials anxiously monitored the situation. When the aliens heard the doorbell ring, they opened the door to receive guests. People stared at the open door. Everyone just breathed a sigh of relief. In the next moment, their artillery fire made their stance clear. All officials immediately boarded planes to escape, but they forgot to inform the public. At this time, people in the streets were unaware of the situation. Some even began to shout, asking the spaceship to take them to another planet for fun. Fans of the aliens were extremely excited. However, they couldn't laugh for long. The spaceship opened its lower hatch. Alien devices came into view. People stopped to admire the high technology. Then the devices began to charge up. Everyone thought it was a good thing. Suddenly, the artillery fire jolted the crowd awake. Flames erupted all around. People finally realized that the aliens were not here for diplomacy. They intended to conquer Earth. The city was instantly engulfed in flames. Meanwhile, alien spaceships in other areas received the signal and also began bombarding their cities. The White House was not spared either. The bombings destroyed major human cities. The public, terrified, began to flee in panic. A owner saw his dog frozen in place. He immediately shouted. Fortunately, the agile dog survived. In an instant, the city's buildings turned into ruins. The next day, the president was extremely angry. Did the aliens really think we lacked strength? He immediately summoned the military to prepare for a counterattack. Pilots on leave received orders to return. The counterattack squad led by Little Black set out. The fighter jets flew in front of the alien spaceship. They launched multiple missiles, but unexpectedly, the hit rate was 0. The aliens had been fully prepared for the invasion of Earth. They had equipped their ships with shields. The fighter jets had to change course. However, the pilot's skills were simply too poor. He crashed into the shield and perished. In the next moment, the aliens also dispatched several fighter jets. They began to counterattack. Both sides engaged in aerial combat, but Little Black's attacks caused no damage at all. The aliens' fighter jets were also equipped with shields. They simply could not attack. They could only endure the beating without retaliating. The president ordered a withdrawal, but the aliens refused. They pursued the last two fighter jets. In the end, only Captain Little Black remained uninjured. He was still evading enemy fire in the sky. Meanwhile, the aliens used signals to scout and located the U.S. Air Force Base. They dispatched fighter jets to bomb the Air Force Base. The soldiers had no time to react. They could only flee in all directions. At this moment, Little Black, familiar with the terrain, led the alien fighter jets into a canyon. Using his superb flying skills, he maneuvered through the canyon. At the last moment, before hitting the cliff, he deployed the safety airbag. The aliens lacked experience in this regard. They fell victim and crashed immediately. Little Black was extremely pleased. He finally had a chance to fight back. He pulled the alien out and punched it. After venting his anger, he dragged the alien captive toward the base. The alien probably never bathed, and its odor was truly unbearable. Little Black turned away immediately. But the alien was just too heavy. Fortunately, a transport truck appeared ahead. He quickly hitched a ride. Meanwhile, the president and officials arrived at the base. This was the alien research facility, established by the U.S. They looked at the preserved alien specimens. The president asked the doctor if they could be killed at all. The president received a satisfactory answer. He was very pleased. However, the doctor stated that alien civilization was very advanced. We might not be able to defeat them. Upon hearing this, the president looked gloomy. Then, they continued the tour. The doctor showed them an alien spaceship from 50 years ago, but unfortunately, they had never managed to decipher it. At this moment, Little Black arrived at the base with the alien. The doctor heard about the new alien and immediately ran over to greet them. Little Black did not linger. He immediately returned to the military base to inquire about his teammates. Little Black learned that the complete loss of his unit. He was heartbroken. The scene shifted. The doctor began to dissect the alien. He carefully made the incision. Suddenly, fortunately, nothing unexpected happened. The doctor continued with the dissection. After much effort, he finally found the head. But the alien suddenly opened its eyes and attacked. It turned out that it was not dead at all. It stimulated the doctor's brain. The doctor clutched his head and screamed in agony. At this moment, the alien broke free from its restraints and stood up. It immediately began to slaughter. When the president and officials arrived, the laboratory was filled with thick smoke. In the next moment, the doctor pressed against the glass, calling for help. Someone tried to open the door, but was stopped because tentacles were wrapped around his neck. The alien had already taken control of the doctor. Its deceptive plot was still too shallow. After being exposed, it revealed itself. The president expressed a desire for peaceful coexistence. The alien did not listen at all. It directly controlled the president, causing him to scream. The officer ordered to open fire. They shot the alien into pieces. Still unsatisfied, they stepped forward and fired a few more shots. The alien was finally killed. At this point, the president had recovered. He stated that, from the mental realm, he had figured out the aliens' details. They had always enjoyed invading other planets. They were like planetary pirates. He would use nuclear weapons against them. Then, he ordered bombers to load nuclear bombs to target the alien spaceship. They successfully hit the target. The president asked if the alien ship had been destroyed. However, he received news that there were no damages on their side. Nuclear weapons posed no threat to them at all. Everyone looked grave. They did not know how humanity would survive this crisis. Meanwhile, Vincent was drunk. Faced with such a crisis, he had no solutions at all. He smashed things to vent his frustration. His father arrived just in time to calm him down. Vincent realized that he could not easily give up. Unintentionally, his father casually said, "Don't catch a cold." Vincent suddenly thought of a solution. They could use a virus to infiltrate the spaceship's systems. He hurriedly woke everyone up. Little Black also received the notice and rushed to the base. Everyone gathered in front of the alien spaceship. Vincent placed a soda can on the spaceship. He instructed the officer to shoot it with a gun. The first bullet was fired, but was blocked by the shield. Everyone was confused. Why wake us up at night for this? Vincent urged them not to worry and to shoot again. Soon, the second bullet was fired. The soda can was surprisingly knocked away. Everyone was shocked by the scene before them. They immediately asked how this was possible. Vincent explained that he had used a virus to infiltrate the alien spaceship. This had caused the shield to malfunction. Humanity could finally launch a counterattack. However, there was a problem. The alien mothership was not on Earth. He devised a plan. The two of them took the lab's spaceship to dock with the mothership in outer space. They would be able to successfully implant the virus, but the virus might only disable the shield temporarily. The remaining forces had to seize the opportunity to attack immediately. Everyone agreed to give it a try. The president immediately gathered national firepower. He even joined in the preparations. The best candidates to implant the virus were naturally Vincent and Little Black. The two bid farewell to their wives and families and began their mission. Fortunately, the spaceship, abandoned for 50 years, was still functional. The spaceship swayed slightly as it took off. As they approached the mothership, they were drawn in. They entered the interior. The two were astonished by everything inside. At this moment, the aliens were assembling a large force to launch an attack. Soon, they arrived at the docking area. Little Black was afraid the clear glass would reveal them to the aliens. Vincent said that the alien spaceship was particularly impressive. The spaceship could play music and even watch movies. Then, he activated night mode. He successfully docked with the mothership and implanted the virus. Meanwhile, the president assembled a large number of fighter jets, waiting for the right moment. Immediately after, they received the message that the virus had been successfully implanted. Success or failure rested on this moment. The fighter jets targeted the spaceship and attacked. However, the shells still hit the shield. Clearly, the virus plan had no effect. They prepared to retreat before the aliens launched their attack, but one pilot was unwilling to give up. He fired another shell. Everyone was extremely tense. Everyone cheered and jumped with joy. They were ready to teach the aliens a lesson. They immediately began a frenzied bombardment. Seeing the provocation, the aliens sent a squadron of fighter jets to eliminate the enemy. However, the aliens were injured. After losing their shield, they decided to unleash their full power to annihilate the enemy. Humans tried to stop the aliens, but the shells missed their target. Worse news was that all the shells were used up. At this time, a pilot requested fire cover. He still had one missile left to fire. If all went well, an unexpected event was about to occur. At the critical moment, the missile malfunctioned and got stuck. He looked at a photo of his family, prepared to make the ultimate sacrifice. In a moment of desperation, the alien ship's attack failed to launch. It resulted in a massive explosion. Immediately after, the world learned of the solution. All alien ships were destroyed. Little Black and Vincent prepared to return to Earth. Suddenly, the aliens noticed the anomaly. They surrounded the two men immediately. The most outrageous thing was that the spaceship got stuck and couldn't move. Meanwhile, the nuclear bomb entered its countdown to detonation. Then, the two discussed mutually assured destruction with the aliens. They exchanged greetings with the aliens. Then, they fired the missile, piercing the ship's hull. The spaceship was thrown back by the shockwave of the explosion. Little Black piloted the ship to escape. The main door was about to close, but in the last 0.25 seconds, the two narrowly escaped death. But the aliens were not so lucky. The nuclear bomb inside the mothership exploded. The alien headquarters and branches were destroyed. Humanity finally triumphed over the aliens. The president enjoyed the adoration of the people. Soon, heroes Little Black and Vincent returned victorious. They were reunited with their wives and children. Everyone looked to the sky. Debris from the alien mothership streaked through the atmosphere. It fell like colorful meteors, celebrating Earth's Independence Day. The film ends here. This is a film from over 20 years ago. The plot was quite innovative for its time, but it feels a bit cliché now. The aliens invade Earth, but they are not very smart. They don't understand why. Their technology is more advanced than humans. Perhaps they only know how to fight, and don't understand strategy. In the end, their fate can only be failure. Will Smith starred as the main character in this film. His performance in the film can only be described as average. However, in many films he starred in later, he won numerous awards, and he even won the Oscar for Best Actor. If you enjoy my channel, please give me a subscription.